Well, hello YouTube, good morning. Here we are. Have ourselves a beautiful day unfolding ahead of us. As always, supposed to be another hot one, but hey, welcome to summer, and yeah, welcome to our vlog. So, here we go. Well, since the big demo derbies, I spent the last couple of days nursing the old sunburn, getting things, well, where they need to be. This is just a small burn per se. Just imagine what people go through that fall asleep on the beach, or better yet, are in like a burn, like a fire. Imagine what they go through if I'm even feeling, you know, a drop in the bucket of what they do. You know, you can't sleep no matter where you sleep, which way you sleep. It seems you're aggravating the burn to where clothing is very uncomfortable, so you tend to wear the minimum amount of clothing as possible, and it's like, wow, really? Well, it's been on my mind here for the last few weeks. I started a journey back in April of 2017. It would have been actually about 3 or 4 days after my surgery. So for argument's sake, let's say about April 20th, I went down to a certain accessory shop in town here and started looking at a leveling kit for my 2016 Canyon. Something to pick the nose up a bit. The nose is a bit low, or for my liking anyway. And I hummed and hawed a bit on what to get, did a little bit of research. So come toward late May there, about 26th or so, I called them back and said, hey, let's do it, put some money down the next day. And they said about 5 weeks it would be in. So fast forward to the first half of June, and I called them, 5-week mark, and oh, it's not in yet, we'll call you. So they did some tracing and they find out that one of their parts was only a day or two away, so it was supposed to be here before the end of June, the end of the month. And I've been waiting for their phone call, because they were supposed to call you back, and they never did. And then, well, June quickly rolls away, and the first 3 weeks of July are over and done with. So I call these guys and I say, hey, you know, what's up? What's going on with my, well, leveling kit, lift kit, and mud flaps and all that good stuff? And then they automatically say, well, let's get you down here in, you know, a couple days at a certain time. And it's like, so you can get me in basically right on the spot. However, you can't call me back for almost a month when my stuff is in. Has it been sitting there that long, or did it just arrive yesterday and it was just kind of luck of the draw that I called today? So it's kind of one of them things, right? What do you do? I find customer service is a little bit frustrating at times. I try to do my best to give people leeway to make mistakes, because, well, we are human. However, when you're dealing with a uncomfortable amount of money to put out there for something that you're not 110% that's going to be what you need, and then these guys kind of drag their heels to get the job done, or get the parts in to get the job done, it kind of makes you wonder what's going on, you know. I've spent a lot of money at this place in the last year, and to have a bad experience with customer service over something like this is a little bit on the frustrating side. For them to say that it was said to be 5 weeks, normally they get them in 4, and then ended up turning out to basically 2 months, and they still don't call you. You have to call them. Then at the last minute, when they're booking my appointment, they spring an added cost on top of it for a wheel alignment, which I figured there would be a wheel alignment because they have to take apart your suspension anyway, but that cost was supposed to have been included in all of the other quoted costs. Well, it's just another one of those things, right, to make the price go up even that much more, to get much more money out of you and all that. And I guess it'll be what it is. So of course I got another couple of days to wait before the truck goes in. I'll probably end up taking her down to the car wash, washing her on up, because it's a little bit buggy and dusty and dirty from, well, the big road trip camping there, as well as sitting for the last couple of weeks. And well, hand it on in clean, and then they can do their thing, and then it should be good to go for another round. But pretty much, guys, we'll see how she goes, and around we roll. A little bit of a later morning update. Well, having a pretty decent morning. Little bit of project doing around here, getting things ready for another road trip and everything. Some of the things that I needed in the last road trip or camping outing, I decided to put together this time. One of the things here are blockings. These little blockings will go under the jack, the tongue jack, and then the smaller stack here will go under the two stability jacks on the rear of the trailer. There's not a lot of weight in the trailer, so it really kind of stands on its own. And wedging the stability jacks just in the dirt or up against some firewood does a good enough job. However, I have the scrap wood left over from, well, the countertop build, and I might as well use it up because it's just end up going to be getting tossed if I don't. So I decided to, well, cut them on down, glue them on together, and then, well, it'll be what it is. I don't know quite how fancy to get with them, if I should paint them, stain them, put a little rope handle through them, or just leave them the way they are, because really they're going to be sitting down in the wet or the dirt, and even when I come back here, the ones for the tongue of the trailer will be used outside in the dirt and the wet anyway, so painting them, staining them, you know, would help to preserve them a little bit, but they're still going to deteriorate kind of the same way. If I would have made them out of pressure treated material, they would have been heavier to haul around. However, you know, they would have handled the moisture maybe a touch on the better side. But pretty much, guys, of course, they are forecasting the possibility of rain for today. However, they have been saying that for the last few days, so I don't know, you know, if it's going to finally come true after crying wolf for a few days. Eventually they got to be right? So of course I got a few more things I'm wanting to do. I'm not sure if it'll come to reality, but hey, you never know, right? You got to try, you got to get her done, and it'll all be fine. We come to the end of another day. Well, it was a good day. A busy day as always, steady as always, getting stuff done, getting stuff going for the upcoming, well, weekend. Not 100% sure what tomorrow's going to hold, but I got some more things on my list that I want to get done. Need to make me a run uptown. I'm going to try to do a 2-4 on the day the truck goes in. Maybe we can pull it off, maybe we can't. We'll have to see how that goes. Well, isn't it weird how the weather changes? Less than 3 or 4 days ago we were at temperatures of like plus 35, and at night it was still, you know, 25, 28 Celsius, of course. And now we're sitting at like plus 7 Celsius at night. It's kind of weird. It's hard to think that soon it'll be cold, or, you know, getting to be cool at night. It's hard to believe that time is moving on, and soon we'll be back into fall, and well, back into winter. Well, as for me, of course, if that's going to be the case, which is bound to happen, winter rolls around, I have to think of a storage place for the camper trailer here. Do I leave it parked here in the driveway where it's sitting now? Or do I, rent a stall to put it in for the winter? Or do I put it in the notch the beachcomber came out of? Now, it won't fit in that notch. I'll have to do a little bit of finessing to get it in there. But it'll be out of the way. However, with no longer having the Silverado and the garage being not really vehicle friendly per se, this trailer sitting here in this one spot for all the winter really won't be much of any issue. You know, you can keep an eye on it. You know it's still sitting here. If the snow gets too high on the roof, you can sweep it off. If it gets too high around the trailer, well, you can shovel it off. Then that way you know, where it is, right? Well, like I said, tomorrow I got a few more things I'm wanting to do. I got a couple things I'd like to build more for convenience than necessity. I like to have a propane tank holder for the back of the truck. Something to keep the propane tank from rattling around. I know I have a strap, however sometimes it jumps out of the strap. Then you have yourself a 20-pound propane tank rolling around the back of the truck, which could result in a problem. Years ago, years ago, I had one come loose and I never paid attention. I heard it rolling around back there, but really didn't seem to care. And I went to go fill it the next time, and here they couldn't fill it, as in it wouldn't take propane. So the valve inside the tank must have bent or broke from the force of bouncing around the back of the truck. Whatever that little piece that goes down inside the tank must have been damaged, right? So I know my tanks are probably getting to be close to 10 years old. Just going by the dates in my head where I originally bought them. So one of these times they're going to tell me they can't fill them because they're expired. So we will cross that bridge when we get there. As well as one of these times they need to make me a run out to the firewood store. Pick me up some firewood. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of cuttings in the wood box. And if I'm going to film the fire pit videos this fall, I will need, well, obviously the cuttings to do it. And for the upcoming camping trip, you can't always rely on them having decent wood, as we found out on the last big trip. So if I brought my own wood, nothing too major, like 3 or 4 boxes should last, the best part of the week. Especially if you cut it with their wood. Some of these places charge $10 for, what is it, 7 or so sticks of wood. And their wood seems to burn slow and kind of wet, per se. So their wood will stretch your wood even further. So of course, guys, remember we do have a fan mail box for all your fan mail needs. The address is down below. As well as the social media pages. Again, the links are down below. Go check them on out. Give us a follow, give us a like, send us a letter, send us a decal. If you write us, we will write back. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.